Hi everybody, I'm Neil Ronahan here with Nintendo Report TV, here to talk to you about the games we loved for 2015. What we did is we got the staff together here at Nintendo Report and we bickered and argued about what our favorite games of the year were. We came up with a list of 10 games that we loved, and one of those games was BOXBOY for the 3DS eShop. Here to talk about BOXBOY with me is Justin Berube.
What's up, guys?
So Justin, what did you think about BOXBOY?
BOXBOY was the kind of game that came out of nowhere, especially in Japan, and for a little while we didn't know if we were going to get it, but I was always thinking we would, and luckily we did, because it is a hidden gem of the eShop. It seems like not too many people really know about it even to this day, but it's a nice little adventure that has a lot of creative ideas thrown into it.
Yeah, I was struck by the kind of like the minimalistic art style and the simplicity of it. But in that simplicity, there was so much depth, and they kept on adding all these new wrinkles up to the very end of the game. And there were definitely parts of it that, like, early on was maybe a little too easy, maybe a little too tutorial-y. It's kind of like the first levels in Pushmo, where they kind of go a little slow-paced because they're setting stuff up. But I feel like, especially in BOXBOY, it's well worth the setup, because once you get to the part where it's just clicking in all cylinders, which is more than half the game, it's a total blast.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started out, I didn't really get into it right away, and then came the day when I'm like, I'm going to really put some time into this, and then I just couldn't put it down, and I like pretty much went through the whole game in half a day, maybe 2 days. And it was so much fun because it keeps going through these little ideas that it doesn't rehash too often, and there's so many puzzles where you'll sit there and sometimes be like, well, how do I do this? And when you finally figure it out, you're like, oh, aha, like, of course, why didn't I think of that before? And for a game that uses such simple things, it's very surprising that there's so many times that happens.
Yeah, it's like almost unassumingly complex. And speaking of like that aha moment and getting stuck, one thing that I really like in this game too is it's something that Nintendo as a company has kind of gotten away from since the Wii days where they had the Super Guide. Mm-hmm. But you can use play coins to unlock a hint, which it's something that's very appreciated, having that FAQ built into a game in case you get stuck, so you're not frustrated. It's definitely something I tried to avoid using at all costs, but there were definitely a few times in the game where I was like, okay, how do I do this? Oh, that's how I do it. Damn, how did I not figure that one out?
Yeah, it's a nice thing to have, especially in a game where you might start banging your head against the wall if you don't figure something out. So it's good for the players who want to use it. I don't think I did with my time with the game.
Sure, smart ass.
I'm the type of guy who will just keep beating his head against the wall until he gets it and be like, that's right, I didn't use the guide. I'm better than this game.
Also, as far as other things that I loved about this game, the story was surprisingly awesome. Like, it's not a big focus of it, but it's just this, like, you're this box, you have some friends, and you're trying to, like, save the day, and along the way, you have, like, your friends and you have to kind of, like, sacrifice yourself to make the world turn into color, and it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. Like, at first, you're like, what the hell is this? And then, like, as it progresses, you get to that point, so it was a nice little surprise addition.
And all the costumes are awesome, too.
Oh,
especially
the ones.
The ones that you get late in the game that kind of break it, because you have, like, the bunny one, where you can do a double jump. Or jump twice as high.
Yeah, I kind of felt guilty when I started to mess with those and like turn them off, because like, should I really be doing this? I don't know.
I'd use that for some of the time trials. I think that's what you're kind of supposed to do, because then that lets you do things even faster.
Yeah, I didn't go through all the time trials, I don't think. I did get all the crown medals, or whatever they call them in the game.
Yeah.
So I got all those. So.
And actually, we're talking about this kind of the perfect time, too, because the sequel has come out in Japan. And I've been playing that, too. And not that that has anything to do with BOXBOY making our games we love list from 2015, but hopefully the sequel comes to North America too, because it's amazing. It's like the first one, but new, and there's new concepts and new costumes, and it's awesome.
Does the story continue from the first game? Or?
Yes, it does. It's awesome. It's so good. You can read an article that I wrote about it that went up today. But anyway, BOXBOY was one of the games we loved in 2015. If you want to check out the other 9 games that we decided were games that we loved in 2015, you can read articles, you can watch other videos, and you should check out all the other content here on Nintendo Report TV. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Later.